The hospital has found itself in the flashpoint a number of times during this conflict over the past 6.5 months. Let's bring in Glenn Ignazio. He's a U.S. military expert, retired Air Force Special Operations Commander. Glenn, always good to see you. Appreciate you taking time for CTV on this Monday. Your thoughts on this Israeli military operation on that hospital?
Yeah, we see it again. I believe the last one was in November, and then there was, proof on the Israelis or the IDF side to show that it was being used as a military complex, and there was some evidence on there, but it was always a question to the legal experts as if it was losing its protection. And then we do have this one that happened last night, and the Israeli or IDF troops have been staying on the outside of the outskirts of that area, and then went in and did a raid last night, killing approximately 20 militants on the reports that came out.
Your thoughts as well on Israel saying, look, this is a massive facility and Hamas is using it basically as a secret military headquarters of sorts, somewhere, within the facility itself. So yes, it's a functioning hospital, but there's a dual usage going on here, Glenn.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And back in November, the U.S. intelligence and the Pentagon stated that there was intelligence proving that Hamas was using it as a command and control center back then. And then my understanding is that because they were being fired upon. Now we talked about this for some time and at length that these networks of tunnels underneath can give the opportunity to Hamas to actually come up behind the IDF and basically attack from the rear. And that's one of the concerns here is once they took this particular site, the ability for Hamas to move again and come up in that area is very plausible, very true.
Hey, where do you think things stand, Glenn, on the possibility of a ceasefire here? And we know that the two sides are far apart. Any signs of hope based on what you're seeing, what you're hearing?
Yeah, actually, Israeli delegation and Hamas leadership is back in Qatar. So the talks really paused. And what seems to be the very sticking point is that Israel is like, hey, look, we'll pause, and it's about a 10-to-1 ratio. You release one hostage, we'll release 10 Palestinian prisoners. But what's happening is Hamas is holding firm that we want a permanent ceasefire type of approach. And Israel is saying, hey, look, until you are gone, until Hamas doesn't exist anymore, we're not stopping. So that's where they're definitely at two sides on this.
Hey, Glenn, it's always good to have you part of our coverage today, and I appreciate you taking time for us north of the border here at CTV.
Absolutely. Good to see you again, Todd.
Glenn Ignazio, U.S. military expert, with his take.